on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now,
Jimothy.
So it has been a while, ladies and gents. We have been away from the channel yet again, but we have not been idle this time. We definitely have been doing a few stuff related to Yu-Gi-Oh! I did actually attend a I think it was a case tournament. I believe it was like yesterday, the 17th anyway, depending on when you watch this video. And I didn't do too hot, to be honest. I think I've finished with a record of X4 potentially, and there was 7 rounds. I was playing sword toe, but I literally just got outpaced by just Tearlaments. Basically, I played 5 Tearlament matches, which was absolutely crazy. So I had a fair idea of how the deck kind of functioned, and I've seen quite a few variants in terms of the type of Tearlament decks that everybody was playing. Well, the people that I played against anyway. And it got me to thinking. I said, you know what, this deck actually looks kind of fun. It doesn't remind me of Despia a little bit, but it's far more superior and it can play through a lot more. So it got me to thinking to produce this deck, which I'm about to show you. So without wasting any more time, ladies and gents, let's get straight into the profile. Okay, ladies and gents, so this is the list that I have been working with over the past day or so. I kind of just threw this together and then made a few adjustments. I was using a bit of a more spammy kind of build, but I found it wasn't as consistent as I wanted it to be. Now, bear in mind, ladies and gents, I haven't actually finished this deck. It's still a work in progress, so it's something to bear in mind. But anyway, starting us off, I'm just going to go through the card and explain some of my choices. So I've gone with the Double Danger Nessie as well as the Tsukunoko. Excuse me. Also gone for a Jackalope, a Mothman, a Chupacabra. Now the dangers are really good at just like pushing through boards and specifically going second, because it baits a lot of interaction from your opponent, and it can actually trigger some of your Tearlaments effects, which just get your engine going basically. It also just alleviates some of the dead cards you could potentially have in your hand that have graveyard effects. So it's always good to start off with a couple of dangers, and I feel like the ratio on the dangers is fine. At times I wish I could see a few more, but I know that if I start increasing the amount of dangers, it's going to lead to some awkward hands at times, and I really want to see a mixture of like danger and Tearlament monsters, just to be able to try and mill. I was thinking about putting a Punk engine in here, and that's something that I might even experiment with, but for the most part at the moment I'm working with this build. So onto the Orcust stuff. The Orcust stuff is quite minimal in my opinion. So we've gone for 1 World 1 Orcust Nightmare, double Symbol Skeleton. I'm not too sure whether or not I should double up on this, as well as the 1 Brass Bombard, and then we've also got the 1 Gearsu. Now Gearsu could potentially be put up to 2, and I could drop 1 Symbol Skeleton. The reason I've got Gearsu at 1 is because I want Gearsu as well as Rhino Heart to be my normal summons, but I feel like in this deck specifically, Rhino Heart is a little bit more effective, as well as being able to start your plays with the Tearlament stuff and then potentially go into the Orca stuff. And that's why I doubled up on the Symbol Skeleton, to be able to kind of revive the Gearsu from the graveyard and then pop off with the Orcus plays after I've done all my Tearlaments play. So it's something to bear in mind, ladies and gents. Now onto the Tearlament stuff. I've got double Rhino Heart as well as triple Shiren, or Shiren, however you want to pronounce it. This is probably one of the most important cards in your deck, mainly because it's a discard fodder, as well as getting a body on field, and it kind of starts your engine, gets your engine going. So I wanted to max out on that, as well as the Havness. Being able to play on your opponent's turn is always a plus, on top of being able to have double melee just to mill your deck even a little bit more. You could even potentially put this up to 3, but at the moment I've gone with 2 just because I wanted to keep it at a clean 40. But I'm thinking, ladies and gents, I might even increase the count of this deck up to 50 and just put a few more tech options in. But the only problem is the extra deck's tight, as you'll see when we get to it anyway. I've also gone for 1 Jet Synchron. Now this is quite important, mainly because if you do mill it and it's in the graveyard, it can be an effective way to unbrick your hand and get a body on board. Now I'm not playing any synchro monsters, which is something you could potentially put in, especially with your Orcust Nightmare being so easily accessible. You could potentially put a Chaos Ruler in if you manage to mill a Jet Synchron as well, but I'm not playing Hauki Fibrax yet, and I'm still undecided whether or not I want to go the Chaos Ruler route, because my idea is, or my thinking is, it could potentially get banned on the upcoming ban list because it's such a pivotal card in just a lot of decks, this deck included, to be honest, especially the 60 card pile version of Tearlaments. But anyway, moving on, I did go for the One Shadow Beast just for a draw. It's awkward when you see this card in your hand, but nevertheless, it's not often you'll see this, and most of the time you will hit it off some kind of mill effect. The one instant fusion, obviously it's just a kick Kalos by itself, and you just do Tearlament stuff just free. Also going for the I Won't Die to Mystic Mind, Harpy's Feather Duster. You could potentially put Cosmic Cyclone in, so you got something a little bit more responsive, but I've gone for the Duster. Excuse me, gone for the Duster. Cosmic Cyclone still an option. Like I said, I'm tested, ladies and gents, so anything that you see here you feel like I could potentially change, definitely get at me in the comment section below. I've also gone for double talents just for a bit of a draw engine, as well as the one orchestrated return. Now I'm not too sure about this card, especially with how small the Orcust engine is. I'm not too sure whether or not I want to keep it in there, but I don't know. Through some of the replays I'm about to show you, I've only done a couple against the AI on BDO Pro. It does seem like it could potentially be useful, but it could also be a bit of a brick, especially with how little of an Orcust engine we're playing. But anyway, it is what it is. Triple Dark Ruler no more, because we don't really get a chance to address the field outside of like board breakers. We don't play any hand traps in here, as you can see. We're just playing just gas basically. One Core by the Grave, as well as the Super Polymerization, as well as the double Primeval Planet Pellerino. Now this could be at 3. I actually took one out just to be able to put in my orchestrated Babble. You don't necessarily need Babble from what I've been testing, but like I said, I'm still testing. Again, your Orcust plays are good, but potentially your Tearlaments plays are better, which is the idea behind the deck. The Orcust plays are to facilitate like Dingirsu Send, as well as your orchestrated Crescendo, which is the Omni Negate counter trap, which is very, very important for a lot of the meta that's been played. Excuse me. A lot of the cards that have been played today, like Dark Ruler no more, so just a direct counter to that. Now onto the extra deck, we've got one Kaleido Heart, as well as a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, one Dragostapelia. These are just standard, especially as we're playing Super Poly along with the Garura. We're also playing a double kick Kalos. This can come up, especially if you want to kind of grind with your opponent. You can shuffle one back to summon the other one for the extra deck, so having two is useful. I've also gone for the Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Again, I was hesitant about putting this in, but with Super Poly in my deck, I did decide to kind of like keep him in. He's a level 4 as well, and we're already playing one XYZ, and that is Time Thief Redoer, which you can see right here. I've also got Dingirsu, goes without saying. I've gone for an access code talker because I was finding I was ending on Nightmare Unicorn quite frequently. I had a lot of bodies on board and I didn't have anything to link up with, so I thought to myself, why not just go for the ultimate game ender and put in a access code talker. So I put him in. Longirsu, this is a bit of a flex spot, probably one of the only cards that you don't necessarily need in here. I put it in just for a bit of removal, but you do have the bodies to go into him, but because you've got so many big fusion monsters on your field, it doesn't become as necessary as you think, especially with Primeval Planet Pellerino being in the deck and being a form of removal. So yeah, so one Nightmare Unicorn is what it is, it goes without saying. Fantastic card, as well as one Dark Charm of the Gloomy. I've also got the one Galatea. This could potentially be 2 if I took out the Longirsu, so something to bear in mind, because if you do that, it's difficult to then get out your Dingirsu without having a load of material. So it's something to bear in mind, ladies and gents. But finishing off, I've got the one Link Karibo, just in case you open the if you open Girsu, or you've got Jet Synchron in the grave or in your hand and you want to get it into the grave. So yeah, ignore the side deck, ladies and gents. This is just something I put together. Probably the only spiciest thing here is the Deck Devastation Virus, which seems to be receiving a lot of heavy play at the moment, especially with how things are with regards to the meta. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with a couple of replays against the AI. Like I said, if there's anything on here that you feel like needs to be changed or included, definitely get at me in the comment section below. I'm one man building the deck, and these are my own thoughts and theories, but if I could collaborate with some of you guys on just sharing some ideas, it might help me kind of refine the deck and make it a little bit more efficient and consistent. So yeah, So anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to leave you with the replays. If you did like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoy the replays. Peace.